Welcome to the Geek Cabal channel. I'm Bob,
I'm Jim.
and you're about to watch a clip from one of our longer podcast videos since they've been running about an hour and a half, 2 hours. We splice clips out. If you like the whole thing, it'll be linked to in the description. Hopefully, you'll watch it too. It's up to you, though. And since this is YouTube, you know how it goes. If you like what you like here, like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. But otherwise, hope you enjoy the clip.
So, I did pick up a couple of Sega CD games. So, for those that are watching, I'll just do a pretty quick glance there. But the first one was Who Shot Johnny Rock for the Sega CD. And this is a point and click adventure from the Rollicking 30s, as it says on the back.
Oh,
So,
not the Roaring 20s?
no, the Rollicking 30s.
Okay.
So, rated MA-17, so I'm assuming that this is just vulgar and everything else. No, I'm just kidding. That's like a Night Trap being rated that, and there's nothing that's actually even remotely brawn with it. It's like a cheesy, horror movie with, no blood, no nothing. It's just implications, I guess, makes things a little more. And
Well,
I got that. And
not to seriously diverge here, Jan, but it's very similar to the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. If you actually objectively pay attention, it really doesn't show all that much. Your mind fills in a lot of the blanks in that movie, and what it fills in is pretty horrific. But like that's masterful movie making because your mind will come up with something way worse than whatever's on the screen.
So, and I picked the Who Shot Johnny Rock for $24.99. So, it's actually pretty decent. Most Sega CD games start at about $20 and go up. A lot of them are not probably worth the money. I always like point and click adventures. I know on console they're a little tougher because you don't have a mouse.
Yeah.
But I always enjoyed like all the Sierra games. So your King's Quest, Space Quest, and Police Quest games.
Did Sierra have a Mech Warrior-ish game?
Probably.
I need to ask Chris if he remembers the name of it, because there definitely was like another game similar to Mech Warrior, but I'm pretty sure Sierra made it.
The other one I got is a more well-known title. Not saying it's a great title, but it's Lethal Enforcers 2. So I had the first one already, but this is the Lethal Enforcers 2 Gunfighters, which is a Wild West version versus the other one's Cops and Robbers kind of thing. This one's MA-13, which is funny because
you spend the whole game shooting people.
Yeah, just massacring people. Oh, and this is a Konami game, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Strap on your shooting irons, Greenhorn, is what it says on the back. That is just one thing that is missing from. I don't know.
So as a technical question, did you have to own the first one to have the guns for this?
Let me see here. Compatible with the Justifier game accessories sold separately.
Okay, so they also had a set you could just buy.
I've assumed so because I would assume that this would be like if you already had the gun, they probably had one with the gun with it as well.
Because I know the first one only comes with the one gun. Yet you still have to buy the second one for the second player.
Yeah,
and it plugs into the first one, right?
Yeah. Now, yeah. Unfortunately, the Sega CD version of either one is really not the best light gun shooter. It's close. It's better. It's definitely better than the Super Nintendo version of both Lethal Enforcers and the Sega version of the Sega Genesis.
Did you use the Super Scope 6 on the Super Nintendo version?
Yes, you would have to.
Man, I was actually being sarcastic on that one, but okay.
Yes. I think they made. I think this one actually allows you to use either or the controller or which the controller means you have to like actually drag it across the screen. So, no, because when it comes to light gun games, well, like I said, the Sega CD is close. The Saturn is just far superior because they went from the recorded backgrounds, like the FMV backgrounds, to polygons for like Virtual Cop, and the Saturn's just way better.
So, for those of you who weren't around or didn't play these games at the time, Jimmy, explain what the whole deal with the light guns is and why you can't use them on modern TVs.
Oh, okay. So the reasoning why is that the way that the light guns work is it's a flash, and that's what the gun picks up. There's a light sensor inside the gun. That's why they call them light guns, because they detect the light. But the way that LCDs and plasmas and stuff work, that light doesn't project out enough. Because you have to remember, like a CRT, the way it works, and they're not going to be totally wrong on this. So if there's anybody that can explain this better, but something about the way that the light is shot at the screen, the gun can pick that up. And there's also something about the refresh rate, where the refresh rate does not match up. So like when it's expecting the light signal, the TV has already flashed, or the TV waits to flash after the gun's expecting to accept the light. That's why you can't take a light gun and aim it at the light bulb and have it work. Because if it just checked for receiving light, you could just aim it at a light bulb and hit everything.
Yeah.
But no, it's actually looking for the flash, and I think it has to do with both. I think it's the refresh and.
Well, I think don't the old CRT TVs don't they work by it's projecting photons, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's probably just a matter of it's just so powerful it easily exits the screen, and
Yeah.
whereas these don't really project light as such.
Well, and yeah, I think it's a little bit of both, but I think the refresh rate was the one that I think was the bigger issue. Though I have seen on Facebook that they have been selling uh, an arcade kit you can get for your TV where it's got the light guns, but it works more off of like the Super Scope technology, where you put those sensors on your TV, and that's how it can tell where the edge of the TV is,
Okay.
so that you can do that.
All right. And so essentially, what you're saying though is like when you pull the trigger, the screen flashes,
Yes.
and it's the gun is trying to figure the gun sees where you're pointing from the flash.
Yep.
And okay.
Yeah, and that's why a lot of them will say you have to stand like 6 feet or a certain feet away from the TV, because otherwise the light won't also pick up on it.
Gotcha.
So, but no, yeah, those are two pickups. I mean, that was like $60 for around $60 for the pair of them, and I'm gonna say it's not too bad, because Sega CD games are only going to go up in value. They're going to keep getting rare. I mean, obviously, being a CD format, you run into scratches and stuff like that. And I had to confirm that this one worked, because there was a nice groove all the way around, and they did polish this one for me before I left, so that just in case if it didn't work originally, maybe that would have helped. So.
All right.
And so at some point, I do want to get where we can actually play some of these. And if that's just us sitting on the couch with a camera aiming at the TV, I'm fine with that.
Well, I need to look into that, because we keep talking about like Command and Conquer, and I think I have all of the Command and Conquer games functional. So, people want to see them, or at the very least, we can talk about them while like some gameplay is happening in the background or something. Yeah, so we need to look into like you said you've seen the thing we need to record it, and I assume it'd be something similar for a PC game, because it's just gonna go into the probably I'm assuming hook into the back of the monitor, then the monitor cable's gonna hook into it. I'm assuming that's what basically happens with the video game, right? You're just intercepting somewhere in the cord.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're pretty simple capture devices. Some of them have where you just make a connection in between. Some of them, there's maybe even a possibility where it goes into my HDMI up converter, and then you could grab it from the HDMI up converter and do it that way too. So I'm going to do a little bit of research on that and just see what we can come up with, and kind of go from there.
Alrighty.